As a product owner, you want to have good collaboration with your dev team and your scrum master, etc. How do you ensure that that happens? How do you make good collaboration a thing that always happens? The answer is you bake it in. You bake it into the process. Hello, my name is Tim McDearman, and I'm a senior IT project manager, and I live in a beautiful city called Tampa Bay, Florida. And every weekend, I like to get out and about and into the wild, into the wilderness, etc. Rather than shoot my videos indoors in a sterile, bland setting, I go to the beautiful outdoor spaces around Tampa Bay. So today we're going to talk about collaboration in Agile and in Scrum, etc., from the perspective of the product owner position. The product owner position is the person who does the stakeholder management, etc. It's the interface between the technical people and the business people, representing the business to the technical people, etc. Now, collaboration within Agile and Scrum specifically, you will need to bake it into the whole process to make sure it's ongoing, it's continuing to happen throughout the sprint process. So as a Scrum Master, I realize that there are the ceremonies, and the ceremonies are there for that purpose. They're there to ensure that the collaboration is happening between the right people at the right times and is happening on an ongoing basis, etc. How do you do that? Well, there are the sprint ceremonies that must happen throughout the sprint itself. And they have a cadence, and the cadence, Scrum is often referred to as iterative waterfall for this reason, because these cadence meetings kind of follow the software development waterfall model. They go with requirements first, and then the development works happens, and then the testing happens after that, etc. These meetings kind of follow that logic. So I can't talk about all of them today. Today I'll talk about the two ones that happened the first in the sprint process. So I'll talk about sprint planning and with the daily scrums. So with sprint planning, as a product owner, what do you need to do there? Sprint planning has two pieces to it. First is the piece where you look at the sprint, the product backlog, not the sprint backlog, and you pull items in from the product backlog into the sprint backlog based on whether they meet a definition that we would call definition of ready, and we'll explain that definition in another meeting. But the definition of ready is mainly the stories out there that are complete and have user acceptance testing set forth. So as the product owner, you need to make sure the team, when they're pulling items from the product backlog, are pulling the items that are of the highest business value and meet the definition of ready, are ready to go into a sprint, and not pulling anything else into the sprint. You don't decide for them what they pull into the sprint, but you influence them to get the higher business value ones in there. That's the role that you play. And you set the goal for the sprint. The goal may be to complete the opening web page, the login page, something like that. That could be the goal. And you make sure that the team understands that goal, and etc. And that they're picking the items from the sprint that would work towards that goal. That's your role as a product owner. But you have no formal authority to make the decisions about what the team does. They're a self-managing team, so they pick the items, but you influence them, and you make sure they understand the goal. The daily scrum is it's a scrum that happens every day, where the dev team gets together and they go through what work they have done since the previous day, their impediments that they have, and what they plan to work on today. As a product owner, you're there mainly to listen to what they're saying and to keep track of what's going on. But again, you really have no decision-making authority over the dev team. They make the decisions. And you're listening to them, particularly listening for impediments that they're having. As a product owner, since you're the stakeholder manager, if there's any impediments that require stakeholder management to get corrected, that then falls on you to get that done. So you manage the stakeholders so that the developers stay focused on their development work, etc. So listen for those impediments and answer any questions that might come up from the development team about the stories that they're working on during the sprint, during those meetings. So you're there to answer questions, and you're there to listen to the impediments and figure out if it's anything that requires stakeholder management to do. So those are your responsibilities, as I see them, as a product owner, for the first part of the sprint. And we'll talk about the second part of the sprint in the next video blog. All right. Now I'm out here sweating to death, but enjoying the beautiful scenery around me. I'll just turn around a little bit. This is a beautiful little park called, I can't remember, Stephen Cliff Park. And I'll continue my hike. All right, thank you all very much. I hope you also get outdoors on the weekend, get some exercise. It's good to reset your brain, during the weekend. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, click on like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments section. Share the video at liberty. Thank you all very much.